This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial endowment expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on April the 7th, 2017. Our time is 8:40 Mountain. Coming up later on in the show, the Pink Star Diamond we talked about for the past couple of weeks, it's sold for a big price. We'll talk about it in the second half of the show. Do not forget that you want to go to Harold's website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week, and see on a weekly basis the diamond that we highlight. And this week, we have a 2-carat radiant cut, fancy intense, yellow, internally flawless. This diamond is amazing. The color on it, and it's internally flawless. See it. Our featured diamond, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. And we'll talk about the Pink Star in the second half of the show, and we will give you the price that it went for. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Don't forget, if you ever miss a radio show, the shows are archived on Harold's website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com or HESradio.com. Podcasts are really taking off, and we have been podcasting this show for a long time. You can get the podcast through our websites and through iTunes. Type in the World Financial Report on Radio on iTunes. Now this week, as we tape our show, Canadian dollar, 74.82. U.S. dollar, 100.87. One of the things that Harold talked about, Canadian dollar going up, gold going up, and that's what we saw. Another correct call from Harold. Jobs numbers out. In Canada, we gained 19,400 jobs. Most of them were full-time, and a lot of them were self-employed work. The unemployment rate ticked up a bit, 6.7%. In the United States, a big miss on the jobs numbers. They had been expecting around 180,000. They gained 98,000. And the unemployment rate, though, did tick down 4.5%. Now, last night, as I was putting our free weekly newsletter together, the United States, and this is something that Donald Trump thought about for quite some time, and you can pretty much guarantee that there was a lot of thought that went into it. As he had said for a long time, stay out of Syria. But due to the gassing that took place there earlier in the week, he felt he had to do something. So the United States launched a military strike Thursday on the Syrian government target in retaliation for their chemical weapons attack on civilians earlier in the week. On President Donald Trump's orders, U.S. warships launched between 50 to 60 Tomahawk cruise missiles at a Syrian government airbase where the airplanes that carried out the chemical attacks were based. Now, as we tape today's program, it is just breaking as we speak. In Sweden, there was a car that drove into a populated shopping area, and the Prime Minister of Sweden believes that it is a terrorist attack. But that is breaking as we speak. It looks like there could be a terrorist attack. They say Sweden truck attack, and they're saying a truck is driven into pedestrians on a busy shopping street in the Swedish capital, Stockholm. At least 2 people are reported to have been killed in the incident. Others are injured. The Prime Minister of Sweden saying he believes it's a terrorist attack. Harold, we live in a very confusing world, but that's why we do our radio show, to inform people. And once again, as we mentioned, you had said you felt the Canadian dollar would be going down, U.S. dollar going up, and you felt gold would be going up too, and you were correct. We saw gold and the dollar go up this week.
You bet. It's a rarity that would ever happen, but again, I see this situation as a tremendous opportunity for that to happen. And we're certainly seeing it happen at this particular point. First of all, we did discuss, especially over the last few weeks, that President Trump is not somebody who's going to back down. He's always been a bully. He's always been a winner. He's always, gotten his own way type of thing. Now that he's president, we knew that this was going to happen, something like this. I actually felt that the major problem that's going to happen is going to happen with North Korea, and now that's also on the schedule this week. So, again, what we think is going to happen is that we are going to see a very strong U.S. dollar, which is happening at this particular point, but normally when the dollar is strong, gold is weak. We have a situation at this particular point that we're going to see the commodity markets really start to move. I believe that the gold market is going to take off, and I believe that the U.S. dollar is going to be the strongest currency. Normally, when the U.S. dollar is the strongest currency, gold is a weak commodity. But that's not happening at this point because of all the problems happening around the world and the fact that U.S. attacked Syria last night, and that was warranted. I mean, what Syria did was horrific, and Donald Trump did the exact right thing. The countries that didn't agree with him were basically Russia. So, the fact that the rumors are going around that Russia actually helped Donald Trump win the election, I don't believe is true personally, but the fact is that Russia and the United States are not on great terms. So we're going to have a very, very active commodities market. And that's a great thing for us because I really do believe that no matter what happens in the world today, that we are in a perfect situation to take advantage of that for our clients. So we have, because we're in the alternative asset business, we deal in gold, physical gold and silver. We deal in diamonds, which are extremely important, and I believe will start to increase substantially as these situations happen around the world. I believe that that investors will go to gold, to the dollar, to diamonds, to hard assets like that because I believe that actually stocks will not do well if we do get into a skirmish. And the one that scares me the most is definitely North Korea. North Korea, where they don't have missiles, I believe at this point that could reach the United States or Canada. What I do believe that they could reach, which is true, is the U.S. bases that are in Japan and South Korea, and that's where a problem could actually be, and it could be insurmountable because you've also got China in the equation, where China, the president of China, is at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. Anytime that Donald Trump is at his place at Mar-a-Lago, we all know not to go to Palm Beach because the traffic is absolutely ridiculous. You can't get around in that small little town. But again, this is all happening right in front of us. And again, very seldom will you ever see a situation where gold and the dollar can rally at the same time. But I believe that we have the perfect storm at this time. I believe we have the scenario in the marketplace that that's going to happen. Now, within the very near future, we've been working on this for a long time, but we are going to be able to offer our clients gold physically. So basically, at the present time, so it's more for larger investors, but you're going to be able to buy kilos of gold from us. Now, anytime that you buy gold or silver or a stock or anything or any commodity, there's always a bid and an ask price. You always buy at the ask and sell at the bid. And there's a spread between the two, and that's how the dealers make their money. And it could be 1%, 2%, 3% or more. As the markets get more and more active, the spread can get higher and higher and higher, and the spread can be the difference between making money and not making money. Basically, with my gold deal, what's going to happen, and this should happen within the next couple of weeks once our new website is finished, it's a private club, basically. You're going to be able to transact gold positions and other trades with my company through our new private website that we're going to unveil within the next 30 days or less. Now, you're going to be able to buy gold at the bid price, not the ask price, so there's no spread. That means that when you buy gold through me, you're going to be able to buy it at the bid and sell it at the bid. There's no spreads being made. That means that if you buy gold and it goes up 1 penny, you're already in profits, and that's not possible with anybody else. On top of that, we're going to be able to store the gold for you, so we don't have to incur the cost of shipping and duties coming into Canada, which is, again, we want to keep the cost as low as possible, so just one increase in the price of gold and we're in profit, and that's exactly what we're accomplishing. And then the other thing is that I'm considered one of the better gold traders in the business. I have traded gold for over 35 years, and actually started trading gold back in the late 70s. So again, I've actually traded well over $100 million worth of gold in my career, and I've called the largest bull market in history in gold, as most listeners to the show know, that in 2000, it was this radio show that told everybody to sell their stocks and buy gold at 250, and it went to 1900. What I'm going to do for my clients is I'm going to be able to sell you gold at the bid price, not at the ask, but at the bid. We're going to be able to store it for you basically at no cost, and we're going to be able to trade it for you. So I'm going to trade our entire gold portfolio, and I'm not going to charge a commission, and I'm not going to charge a percentage of the profit. In actual fact, there will be no charges to our clients except for the bid price of gold, which is the price that basically the banks can buy for. So we're very, very excited about this program coming due. I've worked on this for over 3 years now, and we have the contacts in which to do it now. And once the website is finished, which should be in the next couple of weeks, our clients are going to be ecstatic as to what they're going to be able to accomplish with all of our private programs. So this is all happening at a time when the markets are starting to get extremely active. Obviously, what happened last night or Friday night, Thursday night with Syria, showed up in the markets after hours. The after hours markets showed gold up $13 over last night. It's up $15 this morning. Now, in comparison, silver's only up 10 cents. Gold is a market that will react strongest to these situations. Silver will come up, but gold is going to be the biggest mover. And again, we're very, very excited about the opportunity to bring this program to our clients because we do believe we're going to hit another major bull market in gold, and we want to make certain that our clients make the maximum return on their money. You're not going to have to finance it. You're not going to pay any fees or dues or interest or storage fees or anything. We're going to give you an opportunity to make a ton of money in the gold market and in the U.S. dollar. And basically, when you're buying gold, you're trading the U.S. dollar anyways because gold is priced in U.S. dollars. So we're ecstatic about the way that our business is starting to progress. We've got our auction coming up. We tried to get it done in March. It's just too big of an auction. It's going to be a week-long auction. We're finishing up videoing all the pieces and the diamonds and everything. It's going to be spectacular, and we're probably about a week and a half to 2 weeks away from that phenomenal situation taking hold. So we're ecstatic about that. We have two private programs. They're both based in U.S. dollars that our Canadian clients are partners of us on. One of them pays 24% a year in U.S. dollars, and the other pays even more than that. So if you're concerned about your financial well-being, your investments are not doing well, if you're in the retirement savings plans, you know that they're not making any money. You can't put your money in the bank because you don't get any interest on it. Soon interest rates are going to go negative. We have programs that will pay you higher returns in U.S. dollars, and our Canadian clients have been doing phenomenal over the last 5-6 years in these private deals. So, again, if you want to learn about those, call me, and I'll spend as much time with you as you need to explain how they work and how you could possibly get involved. But again, at this point, Randy, very proud of the call on gold and the U.S. dollar because that's almost an impossibility to happen, but it is happening right in front of our eyes, and we called it several weeks ago before it actually happened. I'm very, very proud of that. I'm very happy that our clients are going to be able to take advantage of this to the fullest.
That's why we do this radio show. How do you invest today so you can retire tomorrow? That's why we're here. We have our free weekly newsletter. If you would like to get it and see all the material that Harold and I read on a weekly basis, you can go through it in 5 minutes or spend hours. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Ask for our free weekly newsletter we send out via email, and then speak with Harold about investing. There are programs in place when you can start making money right now, today. Instead of sitting in a GIC at 1%, maybe your stocks or RSP or TFSA are not making you any money, speak with Harold about the different programs he has. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website. Telephone number 1-800-432-1022. And we do have to start looking at things in a different way. In fact, the IMF, they came out this week and said something that I think everyone should be very aware of, because this could be the future. Free banking could disappear if global interest rates stay low, according to the IMF. Households face the end of free banking if the low growth, low interest rate environment persists. And the IMF said weak growth combined with an aging population around the world meant financial institutions around the world would be forced to overhaul their business models to adapt to a never, and this is actually quite interesting, adapt to a new normal. Demographic change will likely be in a situation to reduce demand for credit from household and businesses, but increase the need for easy access accounts, payment services, and products such as health insurance. Consequently, in this scenario, domestic banking in advanced economies may generally evolve toward provision of fee-based and utility services. So isn't that stunning? Yeah, that's right, fee-based. Free banking could be gone if we continue with the low interest rates that we see today. And that's why it's so imperative that you take the time and speak with Harold about the different programs he has in place today. You don't need to be sitting earning 1%. There are programs out there where you can do much, much better with your money. And that's why we encourage you to connect with Harold. Call is free. Anything discussed is obviously confidential. 1-800-432-1022. The website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Our featured diamond of the week is a 2-carat radiant cut, fancy, intense, yellow, internally flawless. We'll talk about diamonds in the second half of the show, and in particular, the Pink Star Diamond. It sold for a big price, and it got a new name. We'll talk about that coming up in the second half of the show. A couple of interesting notes. Donald Trump's Ferrari disappointed at a Florida auction. The 2007 Ferrari, it fell 10,000 short of its low estimate before leaving the block for a private sale of $270,000. Also, a U.S. silver dollar from 1804 sold for $3.3 million at auction. And I guess this silver dollar was one of the rarest of the rare. We talked about it on a past show, and it's quite scary to think what's happening to not only Canadians but Americans. Half of the U.S. working families are living paycheck to paycheck. More than 7 years after the Great Recession officially ended, there is yet more depressing research that indicates at least half of Americans are vulnerable to financial disaster. Some 50% of people are woefully unprepared for a financial emergency. New research finds nearly 1 in 5 Americans, 19%, have nothing set aside to cover an unexpected emergency, maybe a root canal or, Lord knows, a tire that needs to be repaired. While nearly 1 in 3 Americans, 31%, don't have at least $500 set aside to cover an unexpected emergency expense. According to a survey released Tuesday by HomeServe USA, a home repair service. Now, a separate survey released Monday by MetLife found that 49% of employees are concerned, anxious, or fearful about their current financial well-being. And we had a story in our free weekly newsletter. You can read it. Young Americans are killing marriage. Millennials are lagging behind on the traditions and the markers of adulthood. And you can read that report, but a lot of millennials staying at home, living at home with their parents or grandparents. Things are very, very different today than they were in the past, and I think a lot of it has to do with the different events we've seen, stock market crashes, financial meltdowns, the financial crisis. But this is where Harold and I come in, and that is lots of financial questions for so many people, and they're looking for answers. And maybe you are in a position where you don't have an emergency account. You have some money coming in, and you don't know how to allocate it into savings and have those savings grow in a way that it's going to take care of you. And that's where Harold comes in. Harold has different programs in place where you can start making money today. As we've said before on past shows, there's a thing called the rule of 72. If you divide your interest rate into 72, it will tell you how long your money will take to double. At 72, if you're in a GIC at 1%, well, you do the math, 72 years. You're not going to be able to retire, and your money doubles in 72 years. It's just that simple. Harold has programs in place where you're making much more. Let's say 10%, obviously, your money's doubling in about seven years. If you're at a higher number, 20%, the numbers even get much closer. You're looking at a much better number. As a result, you're making money today and accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself. And Harold, we have about a minute and a half left here in our segment. There's no reason today that people should be living paycheck to paycheck. They should develop a budget, allocate cash towards savings, and invest in the right avenues to make their financial goals a reality today. And we have those different ideas for them in place.
You bet we do, Randy. Obviously, those numbers that you just told everybody about are absolutely staggering. To think, that, you go to work and you do your very best and you don't have $500 or $1,000 to your name. 75% of Americans don't have $10,000 to their name. So how in the world is anybody going to retire with basically interest rates at zero and the stock markets around the world just way too risky for most people? So again, yes, we have private investment programs, primarily for our Canadian clients, that have been doing extremely well, and you need to hear about them. So please give me a call so we can explain them to you, give you an opportunity to one day be able to retire at a comfortable level.
Speak with Harold. Connect with him at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. And definitely go take a look at our featured diamond this week. It's a 2-carat radiant cut, fancy, intense, yellow, internally flawless. Go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. We're going to come back and talk about the Pink Star diamond. It got a big price at auction, also a new name. And don't forget, the Oilers will be in the playoffs. We're not sure at this point as we tape the show who they're going to play, but we will keep you updated as to when our radio show is on. We're going to come back and talk about diamonds. The World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on April the 7th, 2017. Our time is 9:05 Mountain. Now, next weekend is the long weekend, Good Friday, and I know that here at the radio station, the staff get Monday off as well. So that means we will be taping our radio show on Thursday. Keep that in mind. We'll be taping on Thursday instead of Friday. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Remember, if you ever miss a radio show, they're archived on Harold's websites, rarecoloreddiamonds.com and HESradio.com. We have a podcast through iTunes. Type in The World Financial Report on Radio. You can find us there. As we tape today's show, Canadian jobs. We gained 19,400 jobs. The unemployment rate went up to 6.7%. We added some full-time jobs, but a lot of it self-employment. In the United States, they had a big miss. They gained 98,000 jobs. They had been expecting around 180, and the unemployment rate there, though, went to 4.5%. Canadian dollar at 74.82 U.S. dollar went up this week to 100.87, and as Harold called it, Canadian dollar going down, U.S. dollar and gold going up during the week. Featured diamond of the week is a 2-carat radiant cut, fancy, intense, yellow, internally flawless. See this diamond online at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. It is gorgeous. The color on it is a very vibrant, bright yellow. It is very, very beautiful. See it, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. And as promised, we've waited and we will give you the results. Sold. The Pink Star Diamond this week at auction sold for $71.2 million, becoming the world's most expensive gemstone, and it was renamed the CTF Pink. We'll explain why here momentarily. The Pink Star Diamond has become the world's most expensive gemstone, selling for $71.2 million, including a buyer's premium. The 59.60 carat pink diamond is the largest internally flawless, fancy, vivid pink diamond ever sold, ever graded by the GIA, and sold for above its estimate of $60 million at Sotheby's in Hong Kong. It breaks the record previously held by the Oppenheimer Blue, which sold for $57.5 million at Christie's in Geneva last May. It has also become the highest-priced item ever sold at auction in Asia. After bidding from 3 clients, the diamond was sold to jewelry retailer Chow Tai Fook. That's where you get the CTF Pink now. It was on the telephone to Sotheby's Asian CEO Kevin Ching for a hammer price of 490 million Hong Kong dollars, 63 million. The total sale was 553 million Hong Kong dollars once the buyer's premium was added. The buyer later renamed the diamond the CTF Pink. The Pink Star was cut from a 132.5 carat rough diamond mined by De Beers in Africa in 1999. It took 2 years, think about it, 2 years of meticulous planning and cutting and polishing to hone it to its current oval shape. It had been offered for sale before. It was sold for $83 million at Sotheby's Geneva November 13th, but the buyer did not come up with the money, so at that point, it was actually Sotheby's who guaranteed the seller $60 million. They bought it for $60 million. They took it over, and they have resold it now for $71.2 million. Harold, this is a great thing for those of us that are invested in colored diamonds. We're seeing the prices continue to skyrocket, and we're seeing those big, big diamonds. They're becoming like pieces of art, nature's art, Picasso's, Rembrandt's. They're going for those big prices, and I think this is a trend that's going to continue for quite some time.
You bet, Randy. I mean, it's an astronomical price for one of the greatest diamonds ever auctioned off. However, you know, what surprises me about that, when they came out with a price of $60 million, I obviously said that the diamond has got to sell for way more than that. And even $71 million is a very inexpensive price for that diamond. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is, because when you look at what blue diamonds are selling for today, vivid blue of the same quality as this, because this was a vivid pink. On top of this, this is a type 2A diamond, means that there's no nitrogen in it. It's just, which only represents 0.002% of all investment quality diamonds, so the diamond is beyond rare. But the diamond, in my opinion, should have sold in the range of about $4 million a carat. You're talking about $250 million for a diamond is what that diamond really, in my opinion, is worth. So the fact is that it sold at $71 million. I think is a steal because it was only at $1.5 million a carat, and we've seen vivid pink diamonds sell for more than that. So I do believe that that the diamond will eventually sell for much more than what it did, what it was purchased for, and the people that sold the actual diamond, the people that sold the actual pink star, I'm partners with on a blue diamond. So again, we know who the sellers were, and we knew that they were happy with the return. But the fact is that it should have sold for more than $71 million, and I know that was a record price ever, for a diamond ever sold. However, again, it was only $1.5 million a carat, so the gentleman that did buy it, he bought it at a discounted price. I think he really stole the diamond. But it's just another indication as to where the big money goes to, because why would somebody spend $71 million on a diamond unless it was going to be profitable for them? And that's exactly why they bought that diamond, is to resell it. So the fact is that I think that there's a lot of intrinsic value in that diamond. I believe that the next time that diamond sells, it may be 5 years down the road from now, but I believe that diamond will eventually sell for over $100 million, and it's definitely worth more than that. So I just am ecstatic over the fact that it sold for what it did, that it's in the limelight, that everybody knows about it. And again, what's also going to happen is that pink diamonds are going to increase in value substantially, number one, because of what that diamond just sold for, but also, number two, the fact that the Argyle mine that produces 95% of all the pink diamonds in the world is going to close before 2020. We have 2 or 3 years left on the Argyle mine, and that's it. And the reason that they're closing the mine down is that it's not producing enough diamonds anymore. And all 95% of the pink diamonds come from that mine. Now, this pink star did not come from the Argyle mine. The Argyle mine is famous for their amazing pinks, but they're smaller diamonds. In fact, to get a 2-carat vivid pink Argyle today is nearly impossible. This diamond was over 60 carats. You're talking about most Argyle pinks that come out of the Argyle mine are under a 1/4 carat. It's known as the most concentrated form of wealth on earth. That you could literally buy a 1-carat diamond and spend 7 figures on it. And because the mine is going to close down, we anticipate that the prices are going to go substantially higher. On top of that, these are assets that can be sold in U.S. dollars or British pounds or Chinese yuans or Japanese yens or anything, which is another huge benefit of owning an asset like a rare colored diamond, because wherever the currency market is the strongest, that's where we're going to want to sell that diamond. Now, I've been also saying that we have been we're having an auction, and we thought it would be ready for March. It's almost ready, and we're now into April. It was just that it was a monumental task to video all of the diamonds and pieces that we're putting up on this auction. It will definitely happen this month. We should be loading up and finishing up the auction catalog by early next week. We had to change the background. It looks much stronger color-wise on a black background than a white, but it's going to be one of the great auctions, and we are advertising it highly worldwide, so we are going to see a lot of action, and this is going to be the norm. Hopefully we're going to have auctions every single month, and we'll be able to help clients out as they need to sell their diamonds due to whatever reason. So, again, we've been working extremely hard on our gold deal, which is coming through in the next couple weeks. We've got our auction coming up in the next couple weeks. Again, the markets are getting active again. We obviously have the situation in Syria and obviously threats going back and forth with North Korea, which is only going to cause hard assets to go even higher and higher and higher. So I just think that my company and my series of companies, my gold business, my diamond business, my Eagle Financial, our natural diamond investment company, and Diamante Atelier are all doing extremely well right now, and we anticipate that with the type of scenarios that we're seeing worldwide, that we believe that alternative assets are definitely the way to go. And it's obvious just by what the Pink Star produced at auction, $11 million more than they anticipated that diamond would sell for.
Now, before the Pink Star sold, the record price for a pink diamond at auction was $46.2 million, achieved by the 24.78 carat Graph Pink. which sold at Sotheby's in Geneva in 2010. The Pink Star is more than twice as big as the Graph Pink, and its color rating, Fancy Vivid, is the highest possible grade on the scale used to assess colored diamonds and therefore considered to be more valuable. The pink diamond is also rated as internally flawless, meaning it has no internal inclusions and is a type 2A stone. The coveted classification given to less than 2% of all gemstone quality diamonds, which signifies chemical purity. And the 59.60 carat Pink Star was, and this is a staggering price, but as Harold said, a bargain, $1.2 million per carat. However, that isn't enough to break the price per carat record currently held by the Blue Moon of Josephine, 12.03 carat Fancy Vivid Blue, which sold at Sotheby's Geneva, November 2015 for $48 million, over $4 million per carat. Sotheby's also holds the current world auction record for the most valuable vivid pink diamond, the 15.38 carat pear-shaped unique pink diamond, which sold for $31.5 million in Geneva in May of 2016, and the world records for the most valuable yellow, ruby, and white diamond, the 118.28 carat oval D flawless diamond, which sold for $20 million at Sotheby's in Hong Kong, November 2013. And one I did look up because I think it's important for us, as Harold is very, very strong when it comes to green diamonds. And we told you about the Aurora Green. It was a 5-carat vivid green diamond, VS2 clarity, and in May of 2016, the Aurora Green became the largest ever vivid green diamond to ever sell at auction. The record was previously held by a 2.54 carat Fancy Vivid Green VS1 diamond that was sold by Sotheby's on November 17, 2009 for $1.2 million per carat, and on May 31, 2016, the diamond, which was originally owned by Scarcelli Diamonds, was sold by Christie's for a record price of $3.3 million to, once again, Chow Tai Fook, totaling $16.8 million, and the record was $3.3 million a carat. It's interesting to see Lawrence Graff of Graff Diamonds. He usually goes out and buys these big diamonds, and he has some competition now, it looks like, Harold, from this Chow Tai Fook, the company over in Hong Kong, and there's a lot of big bidders out there now for these diamonds because they are nature's art, and they're much coveted. We're talking the rarest of the rare. 2% of all gem-quality diamonds have that signified chemical purity that the big, well, they call it the Pink Star, now the CTF Pink has. So we're talking the rarest of the rare in this diamond market.
You better believe it, Randy. I mean, it's just really unbelievable. The fact that in 2005, Vivid Blue diamonds at auction sold in and around the $200,000 to $250,000 a carat range, and now we're up to $4 million a carat and going higher, is just a sign of what's happening in the rare diamond market. The blue diamonds, you'll see very, very few come to auction anymore because there's basically very, very few available. On top of that, what we saw in 2016 was the Aurora Green cell. Now, it was not a flawless. The chances of ever seeing a flawless green diamond are slim to none. I own one of them. It's a 1-carat fancy green flawless diamond that we just cut, but it's the only flawless green that I've ever seen. The fact is that the vivid green Aurora sold for $15 million, $3 million a carat. I believe that green diamonds are the next blues. We're going to see a mammoth increase in the price of green diamonds because of the rarity of them. And that's what we're cutting and mining at this point, primarily are green diamonds. My partners are from Venezuela, and they've been in the diamond mining business for 4 generations, and they've just reopened their mines in Venezuela in partnership with the government there. But the fact is that that's where green diamonds come from. You need uranium in the ground in order for a diamond to turn green. So, Randy, did it say on that vivid pink, pear-shaped that have sold in the past, did they give a per carat price on either the graph pink or the pear-shaped that you just spoke about?
No. Well, the one that just sold was $1.2 million. But the graph pink, they don't have a per carat on that. But yes, the graph pink, obviously a legendary diamond. They actually say here the graph pink, it was November 10, the graph pink, 24.78 carat fancy intense pink stone, described as one of the greatest diamonds ever discovered, auctioned at $46.2 million. At the time, it was believed to be the most expensive gemstone at auction, and was sold to the well-known British dealer Lawrence Graff. So it was $46.2 million. And then, of course, we had, this was Christie's, that actually, we had the largest vivid orange diamond in the world, and that was, according to Christie's, attracting the highest price paid per carat for any diamond at auction, selling for $35 million, or $2.4 million per carat, but they didn't give for the graph pink. Now, of course, the Oppenheimer blue set a record a couple of years back, a new auction record at the time, reaching a price of $57 million. The 14.62 carat gem was sold after about 20 minutes of phone bidding at Christie's auction house in Geneva. The buyer's identity remains unknown. November 2015, the Blue Moon, a 12.03 carat ring-mounted blue diamond, caught the attention of Hong Kong tycoon Joseph Lau, who paid a record $48.4 million for the cushion-shaped stone. He bought it for his 7-year-old daughter, renamed it the Blue Moon of Josephine after her. And then the next day, he went out and in Geneva at another auction put on by Sotheby's. He actually went out and picked up a pink diamond. In total, between the pink diamond and the blue diamond, it was $70 million. So you can see when these heavy hitters move into the market, Harold, and they have a diamond that they want, whether it be a Lawrence Graff or a Joseph Lau or another company like we've been talking about, this jewelry company, where is it here, Chow Tai Fook. We are seeing some people with big money who obviously have a strong belief in this rare-colored diamond market, that if they give themselves 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years and hold on to these diamonds, they're going to appreciate greatly in value.
You better believe it, Randy. Again, it's just an amazing thing. It's just phenomenal to see. Now, the reason that I say that, the Pink Star sold, inexpensively, in my opinion, was because back in 2010, I think the unique pink sold for over $2 million a carat. So, and that was back in 2010, 7 years ago. So I'm saying that he got a steal on that diamond at $71 million, and eventually that diamond will sell for well over $100 million, and eventually, maybe in our lifetime, we'll see that diamond sell for even more than that. So again, it's just amazing to see that these amazing, rare, one-of-a-kind diamonds are selling for these phenomenal prices. I've never been more impressed with what's happening in the diamond market than I am at this particular point. And again, we don't have to spend, obviously most people don't have anywhere close to this kind of money to spend on a diamond, but, for example, the featured diamond, it's a 2-carat, intense yellow flawless diamond. You can get involved in those type of diamonds for $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. You put those diamonds away for 10, 15, 20 years, put them away for your family. You're talking about diamonds that or assets that will increase in value substantially. The thing is with Shirley Temple's diamond, it was purchased in 1940 for only $7,100 and sold last year for $25 million. So, that's the type of returns that you could literally see on a diamond if you keep it in the family. It's not something that you buy and sell 5 years later. You're not going to make the money that you should be making on it. You buy them for retirement, or you buy them for your kids or grandkids and let them put them away for the longer term, and they've got an asset, that they could depend on. But the fact is that these diamonds will never, ever go down in value. So we're looking at yellow flawless diamonds are doing extremely well, and we anticipate that they're going to pick up tremendously, especially with the state of the world economies at this particular point and what's happening all over the world with terrorist threats and now with what happened in Syria and possibly with North Korea. So, again, at this point, we think that diamonds are definitely the way to go, whether you invest in the actual cut and polished diamond or you partner up with us on some of our rough diamonds. We own a 19.5 carat green diamond, one of the largest, if not the largest, green diamond rough in existence today, and we just purchased a 9 carat vivid pink diamond rough that is just off the charts magnificent, and we are allowing our clients to partner with us on these amazing rough diamonds. So if that's of interest to you, you could literally look at doubling your money in less than 2 years, in a year and a half type of thing. So give me a call. We'll explain what we're doing here and see if it's right for you.
Featured Diamond of the Week, 2 carat, radiant cut, fancy intense, yellow, internally flawless. Being internally flawless, in the rarity 3% of all diamonds in the world. Very, very rare. Check it out online, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, featured Diamond of the Week. The reason we do our radio show, how do you invest today so you can put away enough money to retire tomorrow? And that's why we encourage you to pick up the phone and speak with Harold Siegel. Anything discussed is private. The call is free. He'll be happy to talk to you. He talks with hundreds of people every week. The call is free, and obviously you can connect with Harold Monday morning, 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. The website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. It's very hard to retire in the financial world we find ourselves in today. Everyone is worried about losing their retirement money due to another financial crash. A lot of people are concerned about the stock market crashing. And will we ever be able to retire? Well, the truth is no, if we're sitting in GICs at 1%. With low interest rates, central banks have manipulated stocks, bonds, and real estate to a point where they are historically overvalued and could face a major correction at any time. That's why you need an allocation of hard assets like diamonds, gold, and silver in your portfolio. You should find out, what does Bill 15 mean, C15 mean for us as Canadian investors? Bank bail-ins, negative interest rates, weak Canadian dollar, oil prices, obviously the housing market in Vancouver and Toronto. The Toronto market, and we have the story in our free weekly newsletter, up 33% in 1 year. People are very, very concerned about that market being a bubble that just bursts, and people will be left with tears. Cashless society, lots of financial questions, and that's why we have Harold Siegel. That's why we have our radio program. Get our free weekly newsletter. If you have never picked up the phone and talked to Harold, now is the time to do it. We've had people that have listened for a week, and people have listened for 10, 15 years, or picking up the phone for the very first time and talking to Harold, 1-800-432-1022. And Harold, with about a minute left, I know you're more than welcome. You more than welcome people to call you, and you'll be happy to talk with them.
You better believe it, Randy. I love doing it. Love giving opportunities to my clients. We've been in business 35 years, been on the radio, for pretty well that period of time. And again, it's a very difficult economy out there, and for hardworking Canadians. The fact is that things are not looking good right now. The Canadian dollar is down, and it's going to drop substantially further. On top of that, the oil markets are down, and the real estate market is in trouble. Randy talked about C-15 bill. That's a major concern. If you don't know about that, call me. I'll explain what the problems are with it and what you need to do to avoid it. But all in all, we have phenomenal programs here for our Canadian clients to get out of Canadian dollars and into U.S. dollars and U.S. dollar-based investments, and we can help you do that.
Thank you very much, Harold Siegel, for your knowledge and another great show.
It's my pleasure, Randy. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
Good luck to the Oilers in the playoffs. Check out our featured diamond, 2 carat radiant cut, fancy intense yellow, internally flawless at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Speak with Harold, 1-800-432-1022. The opportunities he has are not going to be around forever. Do not delay. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.